President Biden, Dr. Biden, Vice President Harris, the second gentleman, President Clinton, Secretary Clinton, Mrs. Bush, Mrs. Obama, Mrs. Trump, distinguished guests and friends. Rosalynn Carter would be so pleased to see that she brought all of you together on this day. First, my deepest condolences to you, President Carter, to Jack, to Chip, to Jeff, to Amy, and to your families. I am honored that you asked me to participate today.
I chose something that is hard to read without crying, so be patient. My mom spent most of her life in love with my dad. Their partnership and love story was a defining feature of her life. Because he isn't able to speak to you today, I am going to share some of his words about loving and missing her. This is from a letter he wrote 75 years ago while he was serving in the Navy. My darling, every time I have ever been away from you, I have been thrilled when I returned to discover just how wonderful you are. While I am away, I try to convince myself that you really are not, could not be, as sweet and beautiful as I remember. But when I see you, I fall in love with you all over again. Does that seem strange to you? It doesn't to me. Goodbye, darling. Until tomorrow. Jimmy.
News reporters and the public figures we cover don't always have the smoothest of relationships. Given the nature of our different roles, our interactions can be uncomfortable at times. The first time I met Miss Carter, it was 1970, when she was campaigning hard for her husband to be elected governor. It was on the tarmac of a small airport somewhere in the middle of Georgia, and I sensed a wariness on her part. I was only a cub reporter for an Atlanta TV station, so that was understandable. I'm happy to say that the wariness melted away. It may have taken about 40 years for that to happen, but it had by the time she invited me to attend a luncheon in Washington where she was receiving an award for her work on caregiving. She knew that we have a son with disabilities and that caregiving is essential in our lives. I know that my respect and admiration for her goes back to the very beginning. There was always something genuine about Mrs. Carter, a groundedness and a quiet self-assurance, despite what she later wrote about her early struggles with public speaking. I covered the Carters through their time as Georgia governor, through the historic and astonishing campaign for the presidency in 1976, through their years in the White House. What we witnessed was a First Lady who saw her role as going well beyond the essential, warm, and welcoming host to being a close and trusted yes advisor. In essence, an extension of the president himself. A First Lady who understood the weight of her words.
Jimmy Carter, the former U.S. president, the 99-year-old, has made a rare public appearance at the memorial service of his wife, who passed away a few days ago after health-related issues. The ceremony that was covered in grief, sorrow, heartache, and other emotions. It was attended by so many former presidents, the likes of Obama, Trump, Clinton, and other dignitaries from the U.S. government like Kamala Harris and others. The ceremony was organized in Georgia at the Glen Memorial Church, that is in Georgia, Atlanta, and so many first ladies also attended. The likes of Melania Trump and others also attended the ceremony. Rosalynn Carter died on 19th November after joining hospice care with the husband at the age of 96. Remember, Jimmy Carter, the husband, is 99 years old. The couple met in 1945 while Rosalynn was in college, and of course Jimmy was on leave from the US Navy Academy, and later they got married to each other in 1940, and they have been together ever since. Jimmy said she had been actually one of her, her equal partner his equal partner in almost each and everything they were doing. They were very close. They really loved each other, very passionate about each other, and they showed public affection towards each other. So the passing on of the wife, Rosalynn Carter, actually will leave a very huge dent in Jimmy Carter's life, who is also struggling with health issues and right now is in hospice. The son, James Earl Carter III, addressed the attendees and said she was the glue of the family that held the family together through the various ups and downs, as you know, family politics. In this moment in time, we are sending our deepest condolences to the family, friends, and everyone who was close and really loved Jimmy Carter's wife, that is Rosalynn Carter. We also send our deepest condolences to Jimmy Carter himself, because it's not very easy. Someone who is close to you. Rest in power, the Queen, Rosalynn Carter.